Hey guys, welcome back to Pops and Props. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make Georgie's paper boat from it. So let's get right into it. For this prop project, you will need a large piece of paper, preferably the bigger the better, some instant tea or coffee, either one works great, but I prefer coffee, black and red acrylic paint, a Sharpie, and last but not least, a hair dryer. First off, we are going to take our sheet of paper and put it in a baking sheet, and then we're just going to put it off to the side for a few moments. Next up, we are going to fill up a pot of water and we are going to bring it to a boil. Once the water is boiling, we are going to pour it into a giant bowl where we are going to mix our coffee. Here I'm just adding some instant coffee and I'm going to stir it in, hopefully stir it fairly well for the next stage. Now I am just bringing the coffee over to the baking sheet and once again giving it a nice stir. Now we are going to pour the coffee on the piece of paper. You want to put lots of coffee on this so the paper soaks it in really well. Here I am just shifting the baking sheet a little bit and then I am gently pressing down on the paper to make sure it is soaking in the coffee. Next, I set myself a timer so I don't forget to pour out the coffee. After the timer has gone off, I take the baking sheet and gently pour out the coffee. I hold my thumb on the paper so I don't lose the paper as well. Now I am using my handy dandy hair dryer and I'm just drying out the paper. This will speed up the process so much faster. After the one side of the paper is damp, I gently flip it over so it can dry the other side. Here's a little tip for you guys. If you are doing this project, gently put your hand on the paper to hold it down while you are drying it. That way you won't lose it. After the paper is dry, this is how it should look. I am pretty happy with how this turned out. Next, I just put the piece of paper on my desk and put some heavy things on top of it to flatten it out. Now, while I am waiting for the paper to flatten, I decided to test out a couple of different paper boats. I much prefer this second one here. I think it looks a lot more accurate. After about an hour, I go and grab my paper for the next stage. So here we are actually folding the paper into the paper boat. So our first fold will be a hamburger fold. And I also gently press on the fold to make sure it looks nice and crisp. Now we are going to fold that in half on itself. And this is just a nice guideline for the next step. Now we're going to take these two corners and fold them into the center of the piece we now have. After that, we are going to take this bottom flap and fold it up onto this triangle. We're going to flip it onto the other side and repeat this step. I messed up just a little bit here, so I had to go in and fix my mistake. Now we are going to take this piece and open it up. These bottom little flaps here don't really matter that much, so you can just tuck them into each other. After that, you're just going to fold up these corner ends here, flip it, and then fold it up once again. This is the trickiest part of the paper boat. You have to fold these flaps here on both sides, and this actually creates the shape of the paper boat. Really take your time with this because you want to make this look as best as you can. And this is how it should look like. Next up, I am taking my Sharpie and I am writing SS Georgie on this corner right here of the paper boat. I really take my time with this because I want it to look nice and neat. But also, it does supposed to look like it's been written by a kid, so it's okay if it's a little bit messy. Next up, we are going to mix the fake blood, and for this we will need our red and black acrylic paint, a paintbrush and a straw, an empty container, and a container full of water. First off, I'm going to mix these two red acrylic paints together to make a nice shade of red. Next, I slowly add in a little bit of black acrylic paint. You don't want to add too much because it will turn like a brown color and it won't look like fake blood. This is how the fake blood should look. I am pretty happy with it. Next, I add in just a little bit of water to water down the fake blood. Now we are finally at the fun part of the project. We get to add a bunch of fake blood to the paper boat. There isn't really an exact science to this. I dip my hand in the red acrylic paint and then rub it all over the paper boat. I did notice that the fake blood was a little too heavy, so I went in, added a little bit of water on the paper boat, and watered it down a whole bunch, and it just looked so much better. And after that, I just repeat the same process on the other side. Then I decide to go in and flick a little bit of the fake blood on the paper boat. And once I am happy with how it looks, I just let it sit in the sun for about a half an hour. And to finish the drying process, I use the hair dryer once again. This just speeds things up very quickly. So guys, that is how you make Georgie's paper boat from it. I honestly had a blast with this prop project. Now, if you guys wanted to make this prop a little bit simpler, you could literally just take a piece of paper and fold it into a paper boat, but I wanted to take it an extra mile, stain the paper, and add some fake blood because I think it looks a little bit more authentic. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this prop project. I had so much fun making it, and I had so much fun making this video for you guys. So if you want to see more of these type of videos, please let me know down in the comment section down below. As always, guys, if you want to see more from me, please don't forget to do those 3 things: like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.